Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of In Between the Stitches. As always, I'm your host, Brady Wilson, co-host, Chase Olschwanger.
Good afternoon.
And, no Zach Babb today, but there's no Dallas Stars. I mean, there's no really Stars, no Mavs news, so we're just going to kind of kick it off right there. There's nothing with the Stars new, nothing new with the Dallas Mavericks. We've kind of covered it all last episode. The reason I didn't send out last episode was because it went an hour and 18 minutes, and I was like, I didn't want to obligate everybody to listen to an hour and 18-minute episode, so I felt a bit rough on it because first episode back, got to get back into the routine of things here, but as my mic starts cutting out, that's wonderful. But there's just not much with those teams. So if you want
patiently waiting for the season to begin.
If you want to know our thoughts, go back, listen to last week's episode. You'll get it. There's just not much. So we're going to start with the reigning, defending, can still say that for the next few weeks. And then when the playoffs start, and if we are not in it, it will go to the defending champs because we're no longer reigning, but we're still defending. If that makes sense. It works in my head. We are the reigning, defending World Series champions, your Texas Rangers, currently 60-71, had a rain out yesterday. Third in the AL West, 9.5 games back of the first place. Guys down there in the armpit of Texas, will not say their name. We're gonna give them the Lord Voldemort treatment here on the show. They are thou shalt not be named. Current series, we're in Chicago, and we got upcoming homestand against Oakland, the Yankees, and the Angels. So big homestand coming up. I mean, again, we kind of covered everything with the Rangers. Disappointing, to say the least. There's not much new that's happened. Jacob deGrom's rehabbing. Rocker got moved to AAA. So there have been some very exciting, things happening there. But the offense is still inconsistent. The offense still can barely score runs for some reason. I have no idea why. It's pretty much the same team that was last year. So I think same thoughts as last week. Come back in the offseason, re-sign Chris Young. That we need to preface that because re-signing Chris Young is a very obvious but very necessary thing that needs to happen in the offseason. And regroup, reshuffle the deck, get a new hand for next season and see what you can do with it. But,
not much to say. Just disappointing.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have a chance at going back-to-back. Everybody would. But, I don't think anybody expected this, outcome of the season to go this way.
And if anybody has been following there's been some Twitter stuff going on. There was a Ranger fan, I cannot remember her name, I'm very sorry, but she, I think, emailed Rob Manfred about our World Series video. I think this is real. It looks real to me. Because then Chuck Morgan DM'd her, like, thank you for doing this. So it looks real. So I'm going with it. It's real. There wasn't a World Series video. There's usually like a video that comes out on DVD and everyone can watch it and enjoy their team. Well, there hasn't been one this year. I hadn't even noticed it until it was pointed out to me. And so apparently they are working on one.
Okay.
So we will have some good things happening and some joyous things to watch with our Rangers.
I still always go back every once in a while and watch that playoff series run, that video. I have it bookmarked in my YouTube.
I may put a link in the description. I have a list.
We might have the same one.
I have a playlist. I may have sent it to you. I don't know. That I put together that has a 2023 Texas Rangers World Series run. It's every win. I didn't put every game because I don't want to watch the games we lost. But we won. Every game that we won back to back, it takes about, I think, like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, somewhere in there to watch, start to finish. And I have watched that a few times. It is a lot of fun. But yeah, I may put that in the description. And then also we will be continuing doing the timestamps. So, which I just now realized. Well, actually, no. There is no Dallas Stars now, so I'll be keeping track of timestamps. Chase, help me remind myself
going forward, yes,
that I need to keep track of timestamps so that way, because I know some people don't really care about the Stars. Some people only want to hear what we have to say about, like, what you have to say about the Mavericks, what I have to say about the Rangers, or So I understand that. Not everybody wants to listen to hockey. I understand when ESPN starts talking about golf. I don't really care. I want to watch the football stuff.
Right.
So we will be putting timestamps in the description. Now it won't be like the ones where you can link it. I like those, but I don't know how to do that. So we're just going to
hit the fast forward.
Yeah. So, and we will be talking about some college football today because again, not much other sports. So we got to try to I don't say fill some time, but
no,
it's college football.
Fill some time. Yeah.
So
But it's nice to be back.
It is nice for everything. We are coming into the best, and I maintain this, the best 2 months of all sports. For me. You're a basketball guy.
So, I mean, for me at least, I would say October, because then you're getting World Series, you're getting start of hockey, you're getting the start of basketball, and you're in the first 7 weeks of football.
So I've always thought that September and October are the two best, because you get baseball pennant race and then playoffs. You get football, both college and pros, and then obviously I think basketball and hockey, they start what, late October?
Yeah, it's like October 22nd this year, but the Mavs don't start till the 24th.
So these are the two best, and then obviously if you want to lump November in there because of the fact that you do get maybe a little bit of baseball in there. Obviously, we won November 1st, so you may get a little bit of November baseball.
6 or 7.
Ours went 5, and it was still November 1st.
First day of November, right?
So it could bleed into November. We actually kind of hope it does, because 6, unless our team's in it, everyone else we root for 6 years more exciting. So the best 3 months of sports, I'm gonna go ahead and say that, are coming up. There's nothing like it, and it is very busy to try to balance work, school, and then trying to watch everything that I want to watch. But we're working on it.
Correct.
Thankfully, I have a job where I can. Okay, I shouldn't admit this because I do drive, but I may have the game on my phone. Hi, here's your order. Hey, look at this thing that just happened. Anyway, but that's the Rangers. There's not much else going on with them. Baseball, the Royals are absolutely surging right now, which is good for them.
Yeah.
They did
the Will Smith effect.
They did. They did a more. Oh yeah, we've started because Adolis Garcia just did something. He doubled. Hey, we scored a run.
All right.
It's a miracle.
Rangers scoring runs.
Oh, I'm on the completely wrong app. So I'm looking at standings. The Royals did the correct way. Royals got younger. You got some young guys, and then you add in some veterans. That is how you build a potential winner. And they obviously are succeeding. 75-59. They're in a great spot right now. You got looking at standings here. In the East, New York still a game above on Baltimore. Mm-hmm. If their pitching can hold up, they got a chance. Baltimore, their pitching is faltering. Burns is starting to break. Everybody else is, and then they sent down Rodgers. They traded
everything for. Yeah.
So there you go. Seattle fired Service, which I think we forgot to talk. I think we made. I don't know if we mentioned that last week. No, I think we did. Service it sucks. Great manager. He's going to latch on somewhere that needs a win now manager.
Mm-hmm.
Then you move to the National League. Philadelphia, they're up big on Atlanta. Atlanta has
too hurt. Unfortunately, they might squeak in, but they're just too. They're too beat up right now.
They'll get in the playoffs, I imagine, but they're beat up. Milwaukee, man, they just find ways to win. You got to give them credit. They lose their GM, they lose Stearns, and they lose Counsell,
mm-hmm.
and they still find ways to win baseball games. I got to give that group a lot of credit for being able to do that. And then you've got the West, which has a top dog in the Dodgers, but they have no pitching because they're all hurt because they all teach them bad mechanics. Hint, hint. Sorry, but Mark Pryor, the thing that made you break is causing your pitchers now to break. So then you got Diamondbacks. They're only 3 games out. You never know what can happen there, and same with San Diego.
The Arizona, San Diego, and the Mets are. It's going to be a tight race.
The wild card for the
Even the Braves.
The wild card for the American League looks like this right now: Baltimore, Kansas City, Minnesota, with Boston only 4 back, Detroit only 5.5 back, and then Seattle 5.5 back. And then once you get down there, you're kind of losing it. But then you get to the National League wild card, and you've got, who do you got? Arizona. I think you said Arizona, San Diego, and Atlanta.
Yeah, and the Mets are 2 games out?
Mets are 3 out.
3 out.
Cubs are 5 out. Giants are 5.5. And then once you get to the Cardinals, it's, you're done.
Yeah.
But I feel like the Pirates and the Reds are 2 teams that just need that extra oomph on their roster. And if their owners, can't say the word I really want to say, but if they weren't cheapskates, I think they'd be very successful. But they're cheapskates.
Yeah.
Then there's your baseball update. We're coming into the month of the pennant race. So we'll have more, and then obviously the playoffs, we'll have a lot more.
And we'll make our own bracket to see how we do when it comes to predictions.
I want to say I had the Phillies winning it, and they're looking like...
I don't remember who I had winning it.
So I feel pretty good about that. But now we move to the sport of the fall. In the words of Kenny Chesney, the boys of fall. Unless there's anything for baseball that we need to add. Leiter is starting tomorrow. Tonight. He started
Doubleheaders right now. Yeah.
We'll keep an eye on Leiter, see what he can do. Velocity's been up, so we'll see what he can do. Not had much success at Major League level. But we'll see. He's been killing it in AAA, so he just needs to bridge that gap. But we're going to move on from the boys of summer to the boys of fall. Sorry, I love that transition. I just want to...
And we actually have some positive news to talk about.
Well, where do you want to start? Let's start with the smaller bit of news that you are excited about, I not so much. And that is Dalvin Cook will most likely be added to the practice squad, and the world says yay. And in the words of Monty Python, and there was much rejoicing. Yay. But then we can get to the Dallas Cowboys 53-man roster. And here it is. Let's get some reactions to this. Quarterback, Dak Prescott, Cooper Rush, Trey Lance.
Expected.
Very expected. Running backs right now, Ezekiel Elliott, Rico Dowdle, Deuce Vaughn. Fairly happy. And then Malik Davis to the practice squad.
So if Cook, assuming Cook does make the team, obviously, because he might end up being the starting running back, but where does he fall into that?
Cook, and then Lipke's a fullback. So you're only carrying 4 running backs, but one of them's a fullback.
Can you add Cook to this roster without having to drop someone down?
This is 53. So unless you want to say, oh yeah, Deuce Vaughn has a tweaked hamstring, he's going to miss the whole year. No. You'd either have to send somebody down to the practice squad, or you'd have to cut him and then add him back to your squad. So it's not baseball, Brady. It's not baseball. You can't just send them down to the practice squad. I don't believe. Then Lipke's your fullback, which I'm a huge fan of. I love having a fullback. And then receiver. CeeDee Lamb is an asterisk because he is going to be on the team, but he wasn't when they confirmed it, so it's kind of weird. Brandon Cooks, Jalen Tolbert, Kevontae Turpin, and Ryan Flournoy. I believe that's how you say it. So
expected.
Exciting group there. Tight end. They carried 4, which surprised me. They actually...
And we just sent Hendershot
and a solid trade. So Hendershot, I saw the parameters of the trade are... It becomes a... So we...
A 5th.
No, it's a 7th. No. We didn't get a 5th round pick. The 7th round draft pick. It becomes a draft pick if he either is on the 53, I think, for 5 games, and or is on the game day roster for 3 games. So if he meets any of those requirements with the Chiefs, we get a 7th round pick. If he does not, we get nothing. So it's a weird trade, and the pick would be in 2026. So it wouldn't even be next year. But you never know. Hey, you got a potential something from a guy that you invested nothing in.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about it. But your tight ends on the roster are Jake Ferguson, Luke Schoonmaker, John Stevens, and Brevin Spanford, who is if you don't know who that is, Minnesota Golden Gophers, and he's a blocking tight end. He is not going to catch many passes, and maybe red zone throw it up to him, but he is a old school blocking 6th offensive lineman. So it's nice.
Good.
Helps your run game. We're carrying a lot of offensive linemen. Tyler Guyton, Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe, Zach Martin, Terrence Steele. There's your starters. And then TJ Bass, Brock Hoffman, Austin Richards, and Matt Waletzko are your backups. And then Chuma's going to go to the IR.
Yeah,
to start the year.
I saw that.
Defensive line. Full defensive line. So not edge, we're just going full on. D-Law, Osa Odigizua, Agent 007. It's 0097. That's it. Mozzie Smith, Micah Parsons, Marshawn Nealon. Dude, Nealon looked good.
Mm-hmm.
Guy out of Western Michigan. Big powerhouse program there. Jordan Phillips, big man Linval Joseph. It's a very large man on our football team. Chauncey Golston and Tyrus Wheat makes the team. And Tyrus Wheat's going to, I think, perform the Dorrance Armstrong on special teams role because they're similar body types. Linebacker, Eric Kendricks, Damone Clark, DeMarvion Overshone, finally, Agent Zero.
Yeah, please healthy.
Who's not going to be 0, but still, it's fine. Maris Leofau and Buddy Johnson all make the roster. Corner, you got Trevon Diggs, Jordan Lewis, Kalen Carson, who I'm really excited about, Israel Mukwamu, and Andrew Booth. And we didn't talk about it last week. I don't think. But Deron Bland will be out for 4 to 6 weeks with a stress fracture in his foot. We are very sad because it means that Kalen Carson is going to be starting on the outside. And I like Kalen Carson. Guy looked great at Wake Forest. He was actually my best value pick that we got, but he's still a rookie, and you never know. So I'm hoping that Zimmer can figure some things out to minimize the risk of having a rookie. You good?
Yeah, fine.
The risk of having a rookie outside corner. Because you know the Browns. They're going to attack. Cooper's probably going to line up on him a lot, and they're going to attack that matchup.
Yeah.
So hopefully.
Speaking of, I saw Amari here about a month ago. I don't know if I texted you that.
Wait, actually?
Yeah, I was at Legacy West, and it was still over the summer, so I was home in Plano. But I'm driving down the street, just picking up some food. I look over my side, and I see a guy he's dressed like in shorts and a t-shirt, got a do-rag on, kind of keep himself, undercover.
Low profile.
And I look over, I'm like, oh, wait, that's Amari Cooper. So I was like, yo, Amari. And he looks over at me. He waves at me, kind of like, keeping himself, like you said, low profile. But it was Amari. Yeah.
He's a low profile guy.
So he's seems like he's here a lot, though.
Yeah, a lot of guys that come here, they live here.
Yeah.
Safety, Malik Hooker, Donovan Wilson, Wanye Thomas, and Marquise Bell.
Okay.
And then your specialists, Brian Anger at punter, Brandon Butteraubrey at kicker, Trent Sieg at long snapper, and special teams ace CJ Goodwin.
Okay.
And I did have a little moment with a fan where I didn't respond, but I really wanted to. When a fan, and I'm air quoting, everyone knows me and my dad can picture me doing, because we do this, our fans, we do it for Rangers, but it counts here, don't tell me you don't know ball without telling me you don't know ball, whatever it is.
Right.
The person said, why did we keep CJ Goodwin on the roster and cut a guy like Julius Wood, who did get claimed, by the way, which kind of sucks, and Kamon Hall? Because Hall's back on the PS, and Julius did get claimed, which is unfortunate because I was really hoping we could keep him, but whatever. The person actually asked that, Jace, and I didn't have, I should have, but I was like, do you not watch? Do you get up to go get some pretzels or some chips during special teams? Is that your piss break during when we're about to punt? Because if it's not, if you actually sat and watched, you notice there's a guy that's on every special teams play for us, and it's CJ Goodwin. So he is to put it in other terms, he's our Matthew Slater.
Yeah.
He's our guy that has a position, like Slater was a receiver, but he never plays receiver. You don't even put him on the depth chart at corner.
Only returner.
He's not even a returner.
Cool.
He's like a blocker / gun. He's a gunner. He tackles. He's our special teams ace, which is nice to have. So, but there's your 53 man. But the big news, the one that I'm sure everybody's probably waiting for us to talk about, but we're drawing it out a little bit, it's keeping the suspense. CeeDee Lamb got a massive, and I mean massive, extension. What was it? 4 years, $136 million, I believe. I didn't put that up. I didn't put the numbers on there.
You're right, though.
Whew. Puts it at a $34 million AAV if you just go off the math. Right behind Justin Jefferson. And according to sources, the Jones started out at like 32, then 32 and a half, then 33, and CeeDee and his camp were always 34. So they were never looking for 38 or some crazy number. They were always just below Justin Jefferson. And we paid him. Lamb was at practice yesterday. You don't want to see an injury. That's the one thing that worries me is that, you get that soft tissue crap where he hasn't played. I mean, he's worked out, right? But he hasn't got any type of action. And so you hope that his body just doesn't revolt. Please, knock on the desk here. We're happy to have him back. Time to get Dak done and then regroup next offseason and try to get Micah done. So I think that's your goal right now. I have a prediction that they're going to get Dak done within 48 hours of the Cleveland game, and I think the last practice, what they're going to do is they're going to pull him into the room, bring him in. Hey,
you think they're doing it?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I think what that does is because the Jones look, I may have said in a prior episode that Stephen Jones is so dumb he couldn't spell football if he spotted him in the foot. Okay, when it comes to
couldn't spell NFL,
he couldn't spell NFL if he spotted him in the N and the F. That's what we're going to do. There you go. And I don't mean that in terms of like just intelligence. I mean that in terms of like being a GM. I know he's not technically the GM, but
we don't know.
I can't quote the Jerry thing, but saying he's the best GM, how no one else could do this job well. Jerry, Jerry, I think I could trade Amari Cooper for peanuts and a half-eaten Snickers bar. I think I could.
Ooh, you got more.
I would have. Matt Waletzko, by the way, one reason why they've kept him. He was the big pick out of that deal.
Yeah.
Anywho. But I say that about Steven because I don't think he can evaluate football players. I think he's bad at it. But he does know cap. He does know the cap. I give them credit. He does know. They do know how to maneuver cap space. But they also are very smart in PR. They do. They understand what they're doing. They know full well what they're doing. They're not dumb in this regard. Grading football players, sometimes I think they're a bit, or grading coaches. But they know PR. They know that if they get that Dak deal done, going into the first game, that kind of, and I say kind of, but that's putting it lightly, that really softens the harshness of this offseason. This offseason has felt like taking that really bad cherry medicine, and we all know what I'm talking about. This feels like it's like, a milkshake. I mean, that would be like, that's not a great metaphor, but my point is, this has been a crappy offseason. And it has been. I mean, the draft was kind of cool. Cooper Beebe was awesome. And what they were able to do there. But these last couple weeks, Seth, I'm sorry.
You're fine.
It's a habit. Anyone knows me? It's a habit. I'm used to Chase, what have they done the past couple weeks? Well, they signed Carl Lawson. They signed Linval Joseph. They did this. They did that. They have made moves that we were all clamoring for them to make in March, but they just waited because they like to drive up the sales of Tums in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I don't know. Maybe they got some stock in the company.
Right.
But my point is, they know what they're doing. They have made some signings, and they have kind of re-energized the fan base. Then they make a big one in CD, and then they get the big one. They re-sign Dak, and everybody's super excited for the season, and the hype for the Cowboys is right back to its normal Notre Dame levels of, yippee, we're going to win the Super Bowl this year, and then we're going to get disappointed. Because it always happens. It's a cycle. But that's how you keep the cycle going this year, re-signing Dak. And I think they're going to do it.
Okay.
So that's my prediction. Anyway, there's your Cowboys update. Now we get to seasons from or predictions from last season, not seasons from last season. And I just realized I did not do the timestamps. So, we'll figure it out.
It's like I don't even know if you need to do it for this one because it's only talked about two different.
Yeah, that's true. All right. We're doing an impromptu competition that we don't know the answers to yet. And that is to look at our predictions from last season, and I mean standings, and see who gets more points. Now, a point will be awarded. Okay, I'm getting the game master setting up here. A point will be awarded if you either A, get the correct record on the dot, not closest, and another point will be awarded if you get the team in the right standings hole. So if you said a team's gonna finish 11-6 in first place, and they finish 12-4 in first place, you get a point because you got the first place right.
Right.
And vice versa. So I think everybody gets the game. We actually hashed this out and decided to do this as a game. So
this was not planned.
This was not planned.
An hour ago.
So we just decided to do this. And we're going to start with the AFC East.
Okay.
And I'm going to list what actually happened first, and then we're both going to give what we had. Okay? Just so that's not confusing. The Buffalo Bills went 11-6 and finished in first place. I had them in first place at 12-5. So I get a point because I had the standings right. Chase, what did you have?
Very well done, but 2 points is better than one. I had them in first place at 11-6.
And I have seen these. I trust Chase. He wouldn't lie to me. So Chase, he did win. This is my redemption arc because he won the in-season predictions game. So this is my redemption arc,
which we will be bringing back.
We will be bringing back. The Dolphins finished in second place at 11-6. I had them in fourth at 10-7.
Yeah, I had them in third at 9-8.
That should show you how bad we were at this.
Oh, but trust me, it gets worse.
The Jets were at 7-10 in third place. I had them in second at 11-6.
As did I.
And then the New England Patriots went 4-13, and I had them at 10-7 in third place.
I had them in last 8-9.
So Chase gets another point for having the correct standing, but that's it. The AFC West. I don't want to drag this out too much, but AFC West, we both, absolutely, how do you miss this? But had the Chiefs in first, I assume, so we each get a point there. But I think we both got the record wrong because I said 13-4, and you said
12-5.
And they went 11-6. So there you go. The Raiders finished 8-9 in second place. I had them 8-9 in fourth. So I do get a point there.
I had them 8-9 in third.
So Chase gets another point there. So Chase is at 5-3. Chase.
You love to see it.
Broncos finished at 8. Broncos finished at 8-9 in third. I had them 9-8 in third. So I get another point there.
Wash for me had them 6-11 in fourth.
Boom. Chase gains nothing there. And then Chargers finished 5-12. I had them 11-6 in second.
I had them 10-7 in second.
So after two divisions, Chase is up 5-4.
Okay.
Then we go to the AFC North. The Baltimore Ravens finished in first place at 13-4. I had them in second at 11-6.
I had them in second at 10-7.
The Cleveland Browns finished 11-6. The Steelers made the playoffs last year? I completely forgot about that.
Didn't they put the Chiefs?
I think so.
Or the Bills? The Bills.
The Bills.
The Bills.
My place one.
It was the Bills.
Crazy. I completely forgot about that.
Yes, it was the Bills.
Sorry. Side note there. The Browns, 11-6 in second. I had them, where are we? 9-8 in last.
I had them 7-10 in last.
Steelers, 10-7 in third. And I had exactly that. So I now take a lead. But what did you have, Chase?
I did have them in third, but I have them 9-8.
So it is tied up 6-6. And then the Bengals finished 9-8. I had them in first at 13-4.
12-5 first.
Freaking Burrow got hurt and wrecked everything. I didn't put that. Never mind. AFC South, it's the last one. Houston, now this is where it gets ugly, folks, because
this was a rough one.
Texans won it at 10-7. I had them at 5-12.
I had them at 5-12 as well in last. In third.
Yeah, I had them in third. Jaguars finished 9-8. I had them 11-6 in first.
Same.
Colts finished 9-8. I had them at 3-14 in last.
Where did they finish though?
Third.
Okay, yeah, I had them 4-13 in last.
And then the Titans finished 6-11. I had them at 9-8 in second.
8-9 in second. That's a wash.
So it is after the AFC. It is tied at 6-6.
Here we go.
Now we move.
Here we go
to the NFC East, as it does not want to load. That is super cool. Move. Yep, there we go. So we've got the Dallas Cowboys finishing in first place at 12-5. I did nail the record at 12-5 because history. We're like Chris Davis over here. Same thing every year. But I had them in second, so I get a point. But I didn't have the right.
Mark me as well. 12-5 in second.
So we had the same thing there.
Mm-hmm.
The Eagles finished 11-6 in second place. I had them at 13-4 in first.
So did I.
The Giants finished 6-11. I had them at 10-7.
Where'd they finish in those standings?
So I'm going top to bottom in
Okay,
standings.
so they're third.
Yes.
I had them in third at 9-8.
So we both get a point there. We're trading blows here. And the Commanders, we both had it last, but they went 4-13. I had them at 5-12.
I had them at 6-11.
So they just won one more game. So we each get another point there.
Still tied.
So it's still 9-9.
8 or 9-9?
The 9-9.
Okay.
The NFC West. The 49ers finished in first place at 12-5. I got both correct.
So did I.
Dang
Just when you thought you'd be cool.
Yes, I thought that'd be it for me there. The Rams finished 10-7. I had them in third at 8-9.
Had them in third at 6-11.
The Seahawks finished third at 9-8. I had them in second at 10-7.
I had them in second, but 9-8.
So Chase takes the lead. And then the Cardinals at 4-13 and last, and I had them last at 2-15.
I had them last at 4-13.
So there you go.
I got 2.
Yeah, gosh dang.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it. Then come on. Google is wanting to not show the teams. So it's okay, there we go. NFC North. Lions finished in first at 12-5. So my hot take, they are going to finish first, proved true. I didn't get the record right, but I did get that.
I had them in first as well at 11-6.
All right. The Packers finished 9-8, and I had them at 7-10.
So did I.
But in last.
In third.
So nope. Vikings at 7-10. I had them in second at 10-7.
11-6 in second.
So another point there for Chase. Yay. No, never mind. No point for Chase. No point for Chase.
Just leave that there for the next one that I get.
Oh, you're funny. You're real funny. Bears in last at 7-10.
Yeah, I had Bears in last, 6-11. So leave that there.
There you go. There's your point.
Okay.
I don't think I'm coming back, folks, because this NFC South one was rough.
I think I did solid. I don't know.
The Buccaneers went 9-8 in first.
Yeah, no. 6-11 in last.
5-12 in last. Saints in second at 9-8.
First 10-7.
I had them first 10-7. Falcons in third at 7-10.
Second 9-8.
Second 9-8, and then I had the Panthers in last. And then I didn't have the Panthers in last. Panthers last 2-15. I had them 7-10.
I had them 7-10.
So with a final score of 16 to what is that? 13. Chase Olschranger is your winner. Both competitions. Yeah. And for people that have asked me,
round of applause, please. Thank you.
People have asked me, Brady, when are you going to do your predictions for the season? Who's your predictions to win the Super Bowl? Well, as much as I would love to have answered those questions, I had to keep my audience dangling. I can't just give away the keys to the kingdom here. So if you'd like to hear our predictions, I will not be answering them. I will not be. I will be answering that question next Wednesday when we do our predictions.
We will be here.
We will have our predictions for the season. So we predict, obviously you just saw that, with each record. We kind of give a little explanation of why. Don't want to make it too long because it has gone a long time before doing that. And then each week, pick the winner of each game. If a tie happens, doesn't matter. You cannot pick a tie because if you call a tie for some reason and you get it right,
2 points.
No, automatically win for the year. If you can somehow call a tie, and you can't call every single game a tie until no. We will not be doing, because I hate ties. Ties are they're un-American. It's a communist plot. Those are ties. So, but predictions will be done next week. So they will not be done this week because the season starts next week. But I will tell you, Chase, the predictions that will be done this week. They will be done right now, here in the next couple minutes. The NCAA, and I know it got started last week. Georgia Tech upset Florida State. But it wasn't really week one. This is week one.
Week 0.
So we will be giving our 12-team college football predictions and going over each game. I'm going to do my best to keep college football in the conversation each week, even when the other sports start.
Yes.
Even if it's for 5 minutes just explaining what happened last week, because we will definitely talk about the playoffs when we come to it. So I would like to keep everybody updated if you don't follow college football. So, sorry, I'm getting an email. So we're going to give each of our conference winners, and then in no particular order, who finishes 6 through 12. This is not done in an order. This was just in the order I thought of them being my teams. So coming out of the SEC, no. Do you want to do games first, or do you want to do predictions first? What do you want to do?
Games, meaning like what?
Like going over the important games for the week. There are a few.
Yeah, go over the games.
All right. Because it's the week one, they like to spread it out because there's no NFL this week. That'll be next week, obviously. We have our week one predictions. That's true. We will also have those next week. That's always fun. But tomorrow night, you've got a few ranked teams in action and one interesting game. So NC State, Kansas, Missouri, and Utah will all be playing, but they're playing like cupcake teams. But the interesting game tomorrow is North Dakota State will play the Colorado Buffaloes.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get our first look at Deion Sanders' second year in the program against one of the best FCS level schools in the nation. I think it'll be a good test for him. I don't know about you, but it'll be very interesting to watch because if you lose that game,
all the hype's
gone. Friday, you got one interesting game: Temple at Oklahoma. Yippee! Saturday, you do have a few fun games: Clemson at Georgia. And this actually isn't in the order of they'll start. So some of them are, I didn't want to put like each window, but
right.
Clemson at Georgia, Penn State at West Virginia, Virginia Tech at Vanderbilt, Miami at Florida, and Notre Dame at Texas A&M to be your primetime ABC game. Sunday, you got a game. You got LSU versus USC. And Monday, you got Boston College versus the Florida State Seminoles, looking to rebound after that ugly loss to Georgia Tech.
Yes.
So there's your college football games for the week. Definitely, I'll give matchup to the week easily to Clemson, Georgia. Easily. But it's going to be fun. I think Texas plays Michigan State. So you don't always get the fun games every week, but you do get some games. So it'll be fun. Week 1. And then obviously you got the best. You got the NFL coming in the next week. So now we're going to give our top 12. Now remember, to lay this out for people that don't know, 5 automatic bids. If you don't know what an automatic bid is, and maybe you don't. Automatic bid means that if you do this, you're automatically in. No matter what, no matter if you're ranked 15th in the nation, you are in. The automatic bids are the SEC champion, the ACC champion, the Big 12, the Big 10, and then, so all of those champions are automatically in, no matter what their record is. The other one is a Group of 5 team. The top Group of 5 conference champion gets an automatic bid. So that way, they're not completely getting thrown out.
Right.
That was one of their gripes. Now, of course, this does screw over Notre Dame because they don't have a conference. So that means that there's 7 spots after that for them to get. So we're going to start with the big conference, the SEC. I've got Georgia coming out of the SEC. And I'll give a little explanation for it. They're the best team. I think Texas and Oklahoma are going to be good teams. But I think they'll need some time to adjust to, SEC playing styles. So I still think they're going to be really good teams. In fact, I think Georgia versus Texas could be the conference game. But I think Georgia's pissed for last season. I think they're going to come back with a vengeance. So I got Georgia.
Yeah, as much as I'd like to say Georgia, and I think they will because, Texas, like you said, they might not just be ready yet. They had some injuries that happened. They lost 2 of their running backs for the year.
Yeah.
So a little beaten up, but we're good in the transfer portal. Very good in the transfer portal.
Isaiah Bond, right?
Yeah, they got Isaiah Bond from Alabama.
Bond is just, he's one of my favorite players in college football.
They got a lot. They're still Texas. They got a lot of talent. They still got Ewers behind center.
So you're going Texas.
And I'm going my team. I'm going Texas.
It's fine. Hey, very respectful. I went Dak Prescott in the second round of our fantasy draft, so you're allowed to be a homer. The ACC.
Yeah.
It's
crazy that this is getting tough.
But I got Miami. I'm a huge fan of Cam Ward coming out of Washington State, being in a big-time program. They've got a good defense. I think it's Mario Cristobal. This is kind of his final year to really figure out what his program is before he could be, getting the can. So, or getting canned, whatever it is. I don't know. It's I don't know. what I'm saying over here. But I got Miami. I think they're the best team. I think they're going to shock some people that aren't expecting them to be where they could be.
Yeah. As much as less than a week ago, I was saying Florida State easy. I'm with you now. I'm going Miami.
Big 10 should be obvious. And I want to make a note. This is my... Oh, sorry. What were you going?
No, go ahead.
This is my national champion pick. Okay? I want to make a note of that. And I really hope so because I got a buddy. I got a teammate, Mr. Calvin Simpson-Hunt. Hopefully he gets some playing time this year. I expect him to. Plays for... And I will say it, even though I'm not a fan of the team all that much, but he plays, and I will give them their credit. The Ohio State University will be the national champions and will be the winners of the Big Ten. Who are you saying?
I'm not going with Ohio State.
Okay.
I think there's a team that is better. I think there is a team that...
Let me predict before you get through your little villain monologue, and then I want to predict.
A team that got better in the transfer portal.
Okay.
A team that didn't lose or that doesn't really have a set quarterback.
Okay.
In Ohio, like Ohio State not losing their star receivers. And
they lost one of their star receivers, but they still have Emeka Egbuka.
They're running back.
Oh, I love Trayvon Henderson. Such a great running back.
They lost some guys. Well, this other team got better.
Well, see, I was thinking you were going to say Oregon, but Oregon lost their quarterback. I know Dylan Gabriel's perfect for their scheme, but you saying Oregon?
I'm going Oregon.
Interesting.
They got better. They got Evan Stewart, who I grew up with and was good friends with.
No, they got better because they lost Bo Nix.
No. They They didn't take as big of a blow to the quarterback position that Ohio State did.
Well, they didn't. What? Kyle McCord, right? They didn't lose him.
He's not good, in my opinion. He's not good.
Wow.
And while also getting a better quarterback still, or not better than Nix, but like better than McCord and Gabriel, but also adding more weapons around him.
Gabriel really, really fits what they do. They don't like. That's why Herbert looks so weird in that offense, because they don't like the big downfield passers. They like short, quick, screens, kind of a modified West Coast where they just want to run quick stuff, not much down the field, facilitate. They need a quarterback that plays point guard. And get Gabriel is not great at throwing the ball down the field, but he's terrific at just.
And he's got playmakers all around him.
The short area stuff.
So give me Oregon.
Hey, I won't argue. Big 12. I'm a huge fan of this team. All right, I love their quarterback. I love what they've done when they've had their quarterback. And I think they were. I mean, when this guy played, they were the Pac-12 winners. If he played, he was winning. Outdueled Caleb Williams in a conference championship game, and I'm going. I'm just kidding. Colorado's going to win it. Yes, Shedeur. No. Utah. I love Cam Rising. I think the Utes, I think they've got the Big 12.
I'll roll with you on that, but do not be surprised if Kansas wins it. That's what I'll say.
And then my Group of 5 champion. It's pretty obvious. They're a good team. They're always one of the best Group of 5 teams. I'm going with the old blue turf. Uncle Rob, you will appreciate this.
Boise.
Because he is a big Boise State
I'm with
guy.
you there.
So I'm
with you right there.
Saying the blue turf.
I think they're very underrated going into the season. I think they got a lot of potential.
Now, going into 6 through 12. Now, this is not ranked. This is not who I think is going to be in order. It may seem like an order, but it really isn't, I promise. All right. Here are my... Do you want to go one for one, or do you want me to just list all of them?
Yeah, just go ahead.
All of them?
Yeah, go ahead.
I've got the University of Texas.
I'll go ahead see if I agree with you.
I got Texas in it.
Cool.
I got Oregon in it.
So I'll put Georgia there then.
I got Texas and Oregon. And I assume you put Ohio State in there? Okay. I got Alabama.
Okay.
I do like Milroe. I like his development, and I really like Kalen DeBoer. I think DeBoer is a great coach, and I think he's going to do a lot of great things for that program. And they may drop off a little bit because they lost a lot of talent. They lost Caleb Downs. They lost Isaiah Bond.
Yeah.
They lost J.C. Latham in the draft. They lost Dallas Turner. They lost both starting corners in Kool-Aid McKinstry and Terrion Arnold. They lost a lot of talent. So, but I still believe in DeBoer to figure out how to, as I drop my pen every freaking episode, I still believe in Kalen DeBoer to get them to the playoffs.
Yes. It's Alabama. I mean,
hard to bet against them.
Yeah.
Then I got an interesting one. The next, I think, three teams, especially the next two, have been overshadowed by powerhouses in their conference. Okay, so I want to make a note of that. The next two I'm lumping together because they're both such good teams with good coaches and good quarterbacks and good defenses and just good all around. But they've had to deal with two powerhouses in their conference. So I'm talking about an SEC team and a Big Ten team. I've got the Ole Miss Rebels.
Okay.
I love Jackson Dart. I love Lane Kiffin. RIP to Monty Kiffin, his dad. He passed away. They got a great team. Weapons, defense, offensive line, the quarterback. But they have been overshadowed because they deal with Georgia and Alabama. Hard to make a conference game when you got those two teams in your conference. And I got Penn State. I think that, first of all, that environment is going to be great. If those fans can travel to one of the playoff games and make it at Penn State, the whiteout.
Right. Yeah.
And I think the first playoff game is at your home stadium. So I think, and then after that, it's bowl games. So if Penn State can be a home team, oh my God. You thought Mo Bamba against Michigan was crazy. It's about to be even crazier. But again, overshadowed by Michigan and Ohio State. Has not been able to, I feel like they're very similar programs. They can't break out because the two guys ahead of them.
Yeah. Do you have Michigan in your playoff?
I do not.
I do not. I would not either.
I do not. I love I think Sharon Moore is going to run a 1950 style, run the ball 60 times offense, but it'll be interesting.
Some Army, Navy type
I got
playstyle.
Missouri as the next team. I think they're a phenomenal defense, and they've got one of the best receivers in all of college football in Luther Bird.
Mm-hmm.
They just need, again, another SEC team that just needs to break out. And then I've got Kansas. If Jalen Daniels, I get him confused. Jalen, Jalon, I believe. Jalen Daniels is their quarterback. He's a phenomenal quarterback. He's been injured. So you're probably thinking, Kansas, what is this? Is this March Madness? We getting the sports confused here? No. Kansas Jayhawks, they're a great team. It's got some pieces to put together.
Mm-hmm.
They just need the quarterback to stay healthy, and they can be a playoff team.
Correct.
If he does not stay healthy, then, I mean, you could look to several teams to, I don't want to say USC, but, USC is a team you could watch because you don't ever want to bet against Lincoln Riley. Trying to think, here's some other teams that you could watch. Just in Florida State, obviously. Hey, Georgia Tech, keep an eye. I'm just saying.
UTSA.
But I would say the team to keep an eye on if Kansas doesn't make it is Notre Dame. There's a Notre Dame bias, I'm sure, with the committee, and I'm sure that they have an easy schedule.
See SMU. I know they struggle early versus Nevada, but
yeah, they struggle versus Nevada, bro.
But they're in the ACC now. I think it's just gonna, like you said, it's gonna take some time, some meshing. ACC isn't a powerhouse.
They're the
conference.
They're the lowest of the Power Four,
but they're guaranteed. So I'm just saying, it's a team to watch out for.
Yeah.
SMU.
The bids are going to be nice. This is going to be. But is there anyone in there you disagree with that you'd put somebody over? 100%. Okay.
No.
Well, again, college football starts this weekend, and it starts tomorrow, really, fully. And I am very excited for this. This is going to be the first year where I'm going to try to watch almost every game that I can because they matter. When Alabama lost to Tennessee, I remember thinking, well, that's great, but it's going to be difficult for them to get to playoffs now.
Mm-hmm.
You lose one game, and you feel like the season's over. But now, you've got a chance to get back into it. I love that.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to, and I think
it's going to be good football.
There's going to be some slaughters. 100% there's going to be some slaughters. But I think being that it's going to be, I don't say a long schedule, but being that you have 12 games to kind of figure out where you are as a team, as long as you don't have, I don't want to say if Boise State plays Georgia, I'm spitballing. Yeah, that's probably not going to go well for Boise State. But I think the majority of the games are going to be fun games to watch. There were very few college football top 4 games that were bad. The only one I can think of is TCU Georgia. That was an absolute slaughter. But Georgia had it was an NFL team, straight up.
Yeah.
So we're going to see. I'm excited for this week. Then we get the NFL next week. Rubbing the hands together because it is exciting. So we will have NFL predictions next week. This was college football predictions. And yeah, I think it's about it. Chase, if there's anything else that we're forgetting in all of sports?
Not that I can think of. We think we covered everything, but
Oh, I mean,
excited for next week.
The Olympics happened. That was cool. America, rah. So
best country in the world.
So we will talk to you guys. By the way, Kayla Decky is just phenomenal. Like her and Simone Biles, like it's one of those things when people want to attack. You don't watch women's sports. No. You bring me a star that like Caitlin Clark that makes me want to watch your sport. I'll watch your sport.
There you go.
So we're gonna end on that note. We will see you guys next week.
Peace.